11.2, we are working with our first way that we are learning to graph. You will have to know all ways. You will be given specific directions on the method, so don't say, well, I like that way best, and that's what I'm going to use, because you're going to have to know them all. Okay? One way, first way, is to use intercepts. And actually, intercepts can be used with almost any graph, any kind of graph, not just lines, but any kind of graph, you can do intercepts. It's probably the quickest way to graph something. Not a real accurate way in other graphs, but in a line, very accurate. Okay? The X-intercept is a point where the graph crosses the x-axis. So wherever it's crossing the x-axis, the value of the y is always 0. So the ordered pair for the x-intercept is some number x, y is always 0. To find the x-intercept, you're going to plug 0 in for y and solve for x. You'll see me do all that in a second. A lot of words there. The y-intercept, basically the opposite of what I just said about x. The point where the graph crosses the y-axis. The value for x is always 0. So its ordered pair is 0 and then some number for y. And to find the y-intercept, you put 0 in for x and solve for y. Excuse my very crooked-looking lines here. Okay? So given these two graphs, I want to identify the X and Y-intercepts. So again, the X-intercept, it's where it's crossing the x-axis. So this one on the left, I didn't do a very good job. It was kind of hard to do. We'll just say it's right there. Okay? Is at 3, 0. That is the X-intercept, where the graph is crossing the x-axis. And you'll notice that the y is 0. The y-intercept is the other point. 0, -3. That's the y-intercept. It's where the graph is crossing the y-axis. This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. And again, you'll notice that the x is 0. Any line, wherever it crosses the y-axis, that x is always going to be 0. On my x-intercepts, my y's are always going to be 0. On my other graph, my x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. That's my x-intercept. That's my y. Oh my gosh, did I really just do that? I did. That's 0, 4. Holy cow. 0, 4. That's my y-intercept, where it's crossing the y-axis. This is my y-axis. Remind myself of that. And then my x-intercept, where it's crossing the x-axis, 3, 0. Okay, so looking at a line, be able to find the x and the y-intercept. The x-intercept, where it's crossing the x-axis. The y-intercept, where it's crossing the y-axis. Mathematically, you could use the word intersecting. Okay, the x-intercept is where it's intersecting the x-axis. I just use the word crosses. Some questions about what an x or a y-intercept is. Some clarification on that.
And that's all you have to do, just find out where they are.
But it's important to know where they are in a graph to do my next part. Anna?
Will they always be in the x and y and never have just like one x-intercept? Or like
Your line is only going to have at most one x-intercept and at most one y-intercept. Sometimes it doesn't have an x though, or doesn't have a y, which you'll see a little bit later.
So it's called the Y-intercept or X-intercept, but it's going across the X or Y axis.
Right. So the X is where it crosses X and Y is where it crosses Y. Okay, so how do you find them? If you don't have a graph, but we're going to graph finding them. So given an equation, I want to find the X and Y-intercept, and I want to graph using them. What I will say here is I am going to do all the math. I'm going to show all of the math. And any math that you don't need to show, don't. But if you're not 100% sure, then do the math on the paper, okay? I'm going to show it for sure, okay? And I'll let you decide as you work through them, as we work through some examples here, how much work you need to do. That's going to be very individualized, okay? Okay, so let's find our X-intercept first. To find the X-intercept, we take the equation and we put a 0 where the Y is. And we're going to work it out. So solving, solving, solving. Again, if you know back from goal 2, way back in September, when we did solving, if you struggled with that, come visit me. Let's have some fun during seminar, because solving is going to be really key, okay? Okay, so now we got to solve this for X. So to get the X to the other side, I'm going to add X. X equals 5. So my X-intercept is 5, 0. I just put a 0 for the Y, and I got X is 5, so that makes the ordered pair 5, 0. Now let's find the Y-intercept, which means we're going to put a 0 where the X is. Negative 0 plus 5 equals 5. So my Y-intercept is 0, 5. So I put my 0 for the X value, and I got 5 when I solved. And then I'm going to plot those 2 points. My X-intercept, my Y-intercept, and draw my line. Please draw your line through the points. Don't stop at the points. Did I do something wrong? Okay. And then make sure you put arrows on the end of those points, because it is a line, which means it goes on infinitely. It's not a segment, which is really different in geometry. So make sure you go through the points with arrows. Hannah, did you have a question, dear?
I got it.
Okay. Jordan, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to do anything different on my next example. The thing that gets more challenging is the solving. The solving, the solving, the solving, which we learned back in goal 2. Okay? Okay, so next example. I want to find my X-intercept, so I'm going to put a 0 in for Y. A shortcut that you could take, you know that 7 times 0 is going to be 0, so you wouldn't even have to write that. I'm going to go ahead and do it, but those are shortcuts that some of you might pick up here. So 2x plus 0 equals 14. 2x plus 0 is just 2x, is 14. Divide by 2, and x is 7. So 7, 0 is my X-intercept. Then I put 0 for x, and I do the same thing. I solve for y this time, though. Didn't leave a lot of room there, did I? 2 times 0 is 0, plus 7y equals 14. 0 plus 7y is 7y is 14. Divide, and y is 2. So 0, 2. Some questions on the algebra there. Jordan.
So just change X or Y to 0 for a
But-
shortcut?
Yeah, I mean, that's not the shortcut. The shortcut would be not even to write this or this. Knowing that that's going to be 0, just to write 2x equals 14, x is 7. That would be the shortcut.
Alright.
So I have 7, 0, and 0, 2, and I draw my line. Questions so far? Yes?
So do we need the final, do we need like 7?
I just need those two ordered pairs. Whether you do it all mentally, I just need those ordered pairs. Whether you do the work or just do it in your head.
So you just need the pairs in the
The
graph?
7, 0, and the 0, 2 in the graph. Okay, my next question. Same thing. So let's put a 0 in for y. And solve this for x. And again, I'm doing all the math. Anything that you shorten for yourself is great. So 3x equals 8 minus 0. 3x is equal to 8. Divide by 3, and x is 8/3. Do not be alarmed if you get fractions, because that's going to happen more than you would like, probably. So 8/3, 0.
Wait, did you bring the 3 to the 8?
Did I bring the 3 to the 8? Back here? From here to here?
Yeah.
How would you get the x by itself here? I would divide by 3.
Sorry, never mind.
Yes, sir. I would divide by 3 and I get my 8/3. And then let's put 0 in for x. Three times 0 equals 8 minus 2y. Three times 0 is 0 equals 8 minus 2y. Solving for y, so one of those needs to move. I'll add the 2y. So 2y equals 8. And divide by 2. And y is 4. So again, you can see that the solving is imperative. Got to be able to solve. All right, 8/3, 0. If you're not sure, I would go to my calculator and get 2.666 repeating. So about right there. And then 0, 4. And draw my line.